Hey ghouls, terrorkrueger, the sweetest psychopath you'll ever meet, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back, ghouls. I'm here with another movie review. As some of you horror fans may know, the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre did release on Netflix today, and I watched it 3 times already. I watched it early in the morning to do the video, then I watched it again with a friend, and then I watched it again while doing my makeup, just so I could have, like, a good opinion on it. So, if you watched my last video when I did my trailer reviews for upcoming horror movies, I did mention this movie, and if you did watch it, I was not too excited about this movie. Like, I said, of course, I'm going to watch it. It's a horror movie. It's Leatherface. Obviously, I am a big fan of, like, the Leatherface franchise. They even have Drag Queen Leatherface tattooed on me. So I was going to watch it regardless. When it comes to the Leatherface franchise, like, I love the original one, obviously. I love part 2, although the ending for me is kind of, like, lackluster, but I do enjoy at least the opening to part 2. Then the other sequels I just could not really get into. I mean, I love the imagery of part 4, The Next Generation. But the only other parts of the franchise I liked were, honestly, the 2003 remake and then the prequel that followed that movie. I did enjoy those. I kind of like the way the story was told a little better. Just from that point of view. The remake with, like, Trey Songz and that girl from Malcolm in the Middle was honestly just... it was just trash. I did love that Bill Moseley did come out in it. I thought that was super cute. He is in part 2, obviously, as oh my god, what's his name? I forgot his name, but he's right. I have a figure of him over there. Chop Top. There you go. But other than that, and then the film Leatherface, that was just such trash. But anyways, like I said, although I wasn't really too excited about this movie and I was ready to be disappointed, I did go into the film with an open mind, excited to watch it, and I honestly can say I did not hate it. Shocker. There was some, like, flaws and cons with the movie that I loved and I didn't like, so I'll go ahead and talk about that right now, right here. So, if you're a fan of Leatherface, I thought it was pretty interesting and super cool. The opening of the movie, she's watching, like, an unsolved murder documentary, and it's about Leatherface, little gas station in the middle of nowhere town, and the whole store is, like, a little decked out in, like, merch about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I actually really liked the little corkscrew chainsaw thing that she had. I thought that was super cute. So the story does follow this group of friends, and 2 of them are sisters. I only kind of caught this because I read reviews. Other than that, in the movie, I didn't really catch on to it too much. But apparently, they're supposed to be, like, influencers, I guess, like YouTube, TikTok, whatever type of influencers. And 2 of them are chefs, and they bought, like, this abandoned, like, ghost town in Harlow, Texas. And their plan was to open up, like, their own restaurant there, and then auction off the other buildings to, I guess, other, like, businesses and stuff, trying to make, the way I kind of got it was, like, they're trying to make, like, a new, like, mini Austin in this little small town. That's kind of a good business idea, girl. Like, consider that shit stolen. I'm like, that's kind of a cute business idea, but maybe not in the middle of nowhere with a killer redneck with a chainsaw. Or, you know what, maybe add him too, that might be fun. Anyways, okay, so 2 of them, yes, one of the sisters and the guy are, like, these chefs, his fiance and her little sister, and they kind of I don't know what it is with horror, and I'll get into it again later. I felt like some parts of it were rushed, kind of like the remake of Candyman. Like, I loved that movie, and I was so into it, and then at the end of Candyman, like, I felt like all of a sudden this random guy we saw, like, once before ends up being, like, a bad guy who's helping Candyman. And I don't know, I feel like the ending was just rushed. And that's how I kind of felt about this movie. I know there was problems in production because it was supposed to have a theatrical release, and then eventually just got sold to Netflix. But anyways, so I don't know. And then I had read somewhere too, and I'm not sure if it's true, but if it is, that it definitely worked, that these characters weren't supposed to be that likable. So, like, you root for Leatherface more. And I mean, good job if that was their intention, because I honestly could not stand these characters at all. They're very pretentious, like, I don't know, like, I don't know. I just did not like the characters at all. But as Like right away, as soon as they're leaving the gas station, some guy pulls up in a diesel truck, and of course they have a problem with it. One of the girls makes a comment because he's open carrying his gun and in a big truck. She's like, "What is he overcompensating for? Must have a small dick or whatever." And then he calls her out on it, and she's just a smart ass about it. And I don't know, right then and there, I was kind of like, "Oh my god, how dare someone think different and carry a gun?" I mean, first of all, it's Texas. You see that everywhere, like no joke. But, so they end up at the small town that they purchased, and the guy that she's making fun of at the gas station ends up being the one who's like selling them the whole like property and everything. And then we see this old lady who they're like looking through the house because there's like a Confederate flag hanging, and they try to go in to get it taken down, and some old lady is in there who's still living in the house, and apparently it was like an orphanage, and she was taking care of them, and she's still taking care of Leatherface. In the 2003, his name's Thomas Hewitt. I'm just gonna call him Leatherface here. There's never really been like too much on what his name is, his real name anyways. And one thing, I love this old lady. Like, I don't know, I was just looking at her and I was like, oh my god, this bitch has got more filler than me. I'm gonna go back to my doctor next week and get those same cheekbones she had. I just love, like, she was supposed to be like this old, like, haggard woman, but she had like full cheekbones and full lips. I was like, that's gonna be me in like 50 years, definitely. Or maybe like 60, I don't know, hopefully not that soon. But anyways, so they kind of like tell her like she's not allowed to be there. They call the cops, and in the process of that, like, the lady croaks. She has a heart attack or some type of respiratory problem, heart attack, I don't know. So like this town is so small, the two sheriffs are also like the ambulance, and they're taking the lady out. You see Leatherface kind of come down, and he picks up his mother, or like I guess his orphanage mother, to take her to the hospital, whatever. And then I don't know, in my mind, if that was me or any of my friends, none of us would have gone with her on the ambulance. Like, I'm sorry, that sounds like a dick move, but I don't know this lady. Like, I'm not gonna just hop on an ambulance in a town I don't know, get on a truck with, I mean, yes, they're officers or whatever that I don't know, and go to a hospital. Who knows how far away it is or wherever. Anyways, Mandy, the girl with the curly hair, the short curly hair, the sister was like, I'm gonna go with them. And apparently, like, this bus is coming full of all the people who are gonna be auctioned off like the shit. And the blonde girl, fucking don't remember her name. She's like, no, they're expecting to see you two. You guys are the face of this. You stay, I'll go with her. And I just found that kind of like odd. Like, I wouldn't do it. I don't know. Sorry if that makes it sound like a heartless dick, but whatever. I wouldn't have done it. But we get our first kill, and I fucking loved it because I've never seen a death like this in the movie. So the old lady like passes away in the truck as they're trying to get her wherever. Leatherface is like freaking out with her O2 tanks, trying to like, bring her back. The officer kind of grabs him, like, enough, she's gone. And as he does, he like grabs his arm and he like pulls it down. And when he does, like, the bones from here like break out and they're like protruding out all crazy. And then he like takes his own hand and starts stabbing him in the own throat with it. I thought that was pretty cool. I have never seen a death like that in a movie before, and I thought that was pretty interesting. So like in that struggle, the other officer driving gets shot in the neck, and they crash into this tractor. And as like the blonde chick in the, I forgot her name, the blonde chick in the passenger seat's like coming to, she kind of realizes what's going on, and she sees Leatherface in the back with the body of the dead woman with all the filler, and he's like cutting her face off with a piece of glass, and she's trying to call for help on the little walkie thing. I don't know, I thought the suspense in that was pretty good because I kept thinking like she was gonna like let go of the button and like they were gonna answer her back on the thing, and that's when Leatherface was gonna go attack her. But no, the officer who got shot in the neck is actually alive, and he's the one who wakes up making all this noise, and she's like telling him to shut the fuck up. And then Leatherface comes and bashes his head in with the O2 tank. And that is what I loved about this movie, is that there was so much gore. And I'm not sure if it's because it didn't go to theaters and just straight to streaming. It wasn't so like heavily edited or like cut down from all the gore. Like, there was some good like brutal kills in this movie. And when it comes to Leatherface, that's what I love. I mean, he's a psycho with a chainsaw and hammers. Like, the deaths have to be amazing. There's also like elements of other horror movies in there that I'll get to right now. Like, like I said, there are some things I like and didn't like about it. Anyways, I feel like I'm doing what I did with Scream. I'm just like going play by play by the movie instead of just cutting to the important parts of what I liked and didn't like. Anyways, the blonde chick gets killed, and I actually did enjoy her death, like the suspense of her trying to like climb over the dead cop, like in Scream 2, when she's trying to get out of the cop car while Ghostface is passed out, and then Leatherface ends up at the other window and like breaks it, pulls her through. I really did like the suspense of like him choking her, and then he pulls out like a shard of glass, I think, to try to stab her, and she's like in the process of like being choked, but also trying to hold his hand back. But then he does stick her right in the stomach and like slide it across to like kind of gut her. I thought that was pretty cute. Um, but anyways, one of the things I was like kind of skeptical about in the movie was the whole Sally versus Leatherface thing. I kind of feel like it was too much of a play on like Michael Myers, and that was another thing too. I felt like they tried to make, or they kind of did make Leatherface a bit superhuman in this movie because he gets shot like quite a bit and still survives. Um, but like I said, I was kind of like iffy on the whole Sally versus Leatherface thing, but I am happy with the way they did it. It wasn't too much of the movie. Like I thought that was going to be the whole movie. But before we get into all the stuff with Sally, like I said, the gore in this movie was amazing. So there's a scene where this kind of cute redneck guy in the movie, who actually at first I thought it was the guy who played Thor. I thought it was him for a moment. Um, he's like looking around the house to, oh yeah, one of the guy who gets killed before him. Well, he doesn't. Oh yeah, well the guy who gets killed before him is the guy who's one of the chefs. And I was kind of getting pissed off at first because I thought it was gonna be like an off-screen kill. You see him like walking through the kitchen, looking at the pans, and he sees Leatherface's reflection. And at first I thought he was hitting him with a hammer, but he fucking slashes him across the mouth with a big ass meat cleaver. Um, at first I was kind of like, God damn, because you see him slash him and the door closes, and I thought he's gonna continue like hacking him up or whatever, and then like the door is closed, so we didn't see it. But he kind of like stumbles out of the house and like collapses on the floor, and he doesn't die there yet, so we still get to see all the gore a little later. As he does stumble outside, the cute redneck guy I thought was Thor, sees him and is trying to help him, and like he has this giant like slash across his face and his jaws just like hanging. I'm not sure if it was like CGI or FX, but it looked fucking good. One of the main girls there, like I didn't get too many people's names. She's one of the main girls is walking with her umbrella. She sees like what's going on. He tells her get back to the bus, stay on there, and then he tries to go like save the day. Um, the fight between him and Leatherface is actually pretty cute. So he's has his gun, tries to shoot Leatherface. Of course, they fight, and there was that one scene where I was actually like, "Ooh!" Leatherface fucking hits him in the leg with a sledgehammer, and he just like kind of flamingos it, like his leg just cracks in, and it looks so gnarly. I was like, "Oh shit!" That actually made me like, "Ooh, I felt that." They continue to fight. He smashes Leatherface up against the window, and then he grabs the guy and like slams his head against like the broken shards of glass, and he gets like stabbed in the throat. Um, one of the parts I could not stop laughing at though, like I fucking the 3 times I watched it today, I like giggled every time. Was when Mindy, the sister with the curly hair, is trying to escape, so she like is climbing over the stale rail to get away from Leatherface, and as soon as she gets down, Leatherface is there, and he fucking just like throws a fucking hammer at her, and it hits her, and she goes flying off the staircase and breaks to the floor at the bottom. I loved that. And yeah, like I said, there was references to other horror movies. I don't know if I'm correct or if that's just the vibe I got like from me watching it, but as like she's under the floor and Leatherface is like trying to kill her, like moving the chainsaw around, I kind of got like a Jaws vibe from it. Like you just see the saw popping up in and out, like going after her because as he's trying to like get her into the floor. I don't know, I got some Jaws vibes from that, like the shark with the fin going through. She was like, she's finally trying to escape, and he like hits like a pipe, and like all this shit, like little shit, just like covers her. The sister helps her. They get out. They run back to the party bus, and bitch, this was like my favorite scene. If you're not gonna watch this movie, skip to this scene, or just like watch it for this scene. So there's like that party bus full of all those like potential like buyers of like these artsy people or whatever, and even in the trailer, I was kind of like, bitch, this scene is gonna be cute. So one of the things kind of bothered me too is the girl, like the main girl who's like in charge of this group thing, who came in the bus. Like she just tells everyone to stay on the bus, but doesn't really explain why. So when their bus kind of breaks down or something after they're trying to drive away, one of the guys leaves the bus, and I'm like, if you told them like, yo, there's someone out there killing people because she saw the guy with his face slashed open, you think like, okay, I'm not gonna go out there. But no, the guy goes out there, of course, and then like Leatherface just throws the head back in the bus, and she and honestly, if I saw that, I would have probably tried to run out, not back into the back of the bus. So as she does that, that's the part you see in the trailer where Leatherface walks into the bus and everyone pulls their phones out on him and they're like, try anything, dude, and you're canceled. And then the fucking bloodbath begins. It was like, oh my god, I love that part so much. You just see Leatherface like fucking ripping everyone apart, like stabbing with a chainsaw up against the ceiling. You see people running around no limbs. At one part, you see Leatherface like just grabbing a leg and throwing it. Like he's just slicing all these people up. There's this one guy who gets the chainsaw in his back and pushed into a girl who's against the wall. Um, And then, of course, the two sisters out of the main like cast are the last ones left, so they're hiding in the bathroom. And I just love the image too of all the blood from people being killed outside in the party bus, like just leaking into the bathroom. Um, and then the main girl, like who's like the one who brought the people in the bus, I honestly thought she was gonna survive, and she did it, and I was kind of upset. I was like, oh, they killed her, but she had a fucking awesome death. So also too, like there's a maniac with a chainsaw, like, and there's like maybe 20 of you or more on the bus. Why didn't everyone just like kind of run towards him, tackle him? I know some people might have gotten injured or killed in that, but at least some of you might have survived, you know, to like tackle Leatherface or just trample over him to get out of the bus. No one had that bright idea. Anyways, so as that girl's trying to escape, she like opens the window. First of all, too, Leatherface like tries to swing at her and he hits like one of the poles in the bus. She had time to just kind of like run out the bus towards the front door to get out, but she didn't. She instead kind of slows herself down by opening up a window and crawling out. And as she does, Leatherface puts the chainsaw against her back and like saws her right in half. And you see like one half of her just fall out the window and like all her guts come falling out after her. I was like, that was such an awesome way to go. I think that was like my favorite death in the whole movie. That was pretty badass. And then if you've seen Stranger 2s, there's two scenes that kind of gave me Strangers Pray at Night vibes. So as the sisters are hiding in the bathroom, there's a skylight in the roof, so they're how they're escaping. As the younger sister gets out, the bottom sister kind of gets stuck in there. It just reminded me of the scene in The Strangers Pray at Night when the mom and the daughter are trying to escape and the mom can't get out and she gets killed. And honestly, like the sister with the curly hair, I don't know why her character annoyed me so bad. I was like, kill the bitch. I cannot stand her. Kill her. I don't know what it was about her. I was like, just fucking kill her. But no, she manages to escape. They get out and run off. And that's when finally Sally finally appears. You kind of forget she's in the movie. You see her like Sally's ego gets hurt. She sees Leatherface sitting there, just chainsaw on the floor, and he's just sitting on the bed like with his back to her. I mean, if that was me and I was going after my revenge, I would have just shot the fucker in the back of the head, been done with it, you know, end of movie. But of course, it's a horror movie. It's not going to end that easy. So she makes him turn around and stand up, and she's repeating all the names of everyone he killed in the first one. And then like she's like, say my name, like Beyonce, say my name, say my name. But he doesn't. And then her ego gets hurt because she's like, you don't remember me? So she kind of gets like all butthurt that Leatherface doesn't remember her. And he kind of just like walks out the door past her, and that's it. And it's kind of like, bitch, you had the opportunity to shoot him like in the back of the head, in the face. Like at any point you could have blown his fucking head off. She had a gun to him. And she's just kind of like standing there with her ego that Leatherface didn't remember her. So again, he goes down, attacks the sisters in the truck. Sally comes back. She shoots him finally, like, and then he runs off. And I was a little upset, but I don't know. I keep hearing mixed, like, how everyone I've talked to about it or who's seen it, for like a legacy character such as Sally, I mean, she's not as memorable as like Jamie Lee Curtis, Sidney Prescott, Nancy Thompson, or anything like that. But I mean, everyone does remember Sally running away, jumping in the back of the truck and getting away. And for her being a legacy character and them giving her the backstory of becoming a ranger, like an officer or whatever, to come back and battle Leatherface, I was expecting a better showdown. But she's an awful shot. Leatherface comes running out of a dark alley. She shoots and she misses, and then he swings his chainsaw, knocks the gun out of her hand. Well, no, they're kind of like fighting, but by the time like she shoots all her rounds, by the time the gun's in Leatherface's face, she's out. She pulls out a little knife, she stabs him, and she's trying to reload her gun, and then Leatherface just sticks the chainsaw right in her gut and like lifts her up, like just sawing her like up the torso. And I don't know, for me, I felt like that was kind of a cheap way for Sally to go out. She survived all that bullshit in the first one, you know, being slashed up with a straight razor, she's running away, being tied to the table, getting hit in the head with a hammer by the grandpa, and, you know, just went through a whole lot of shit. And for her character to just get killed off kind of easy, I was a little like, It's like if, like, I mean, like at Halloween Resurrection, how Laurie got killed right in the beginning. I was like, ugh, I would expect a better end. Like in Halloween Kills, when that comes out, if they finally kill off Laurie, although they kind of diminish the whole character. Anyway, we're not talking about Halloween. We're not talking about Halloween. Although, like I said, and then another like Strangers Pray at Night reference is when the sisters try to get away, and I would have just ran Leatherface over. Rather he kills Sally, like he tosses her body, and it made me laugh too. Like just seeing him like holding her up and flinging her, and she like just lands into all this trash. Like racing the car towards him, and he throws the chainsaw at the car, and that causes him to swerve and crash. It's like, bitch, you're in a car, just run his ass down. But they crash, and it kind of reminded me of the scene with the father and son in Pray at Night, where like the dad's stuck in the car because he gets pinned by something, and they're telling him to run off, and like just go save yourself. Leatherface is gonna come and kill me. Blah blah blah. So the younger sister runs off, and he's gonna go kill the sister with the curly hair. And as she's doing it, she tries to have her badass moment. The cute redneck guy that I thought was Thor had like some big ass gun. Sorry, I don't know gun names. And she comes in with her badass line, like gonna shoot Leatherface. But early in the movie, when she looked at it, he was kind of like he like unloaded the gun for her, like even checked the chamber. So there was no rounds in there. So she's like, oh fuck. And Leatherface goes after her. As he's about to kill, like on the floor, she's getting flashbacks. I forgot to mention, for some reason, her backstory is the younger sister survived a school shooting, and she's like has like survivor's guilt. So she keeps thinking like, oh, I was supposed to die there. That's why death is following me here. Blah blah blah. I don't know. I thought that was kind of pointless since they didn't really touch too much on it. They kind of just kept giving her like triggers and flashbacks of it. I just thought it was weird or pointless. Maybe there's more to it that got edited out. I don't know. And then once again, Leatherface gets shot like in the back and in the side by Sally before she dies. He runs off. And that was the kind of thing too. Like there's this big showdown at the end. The two sisters are fighting Leatherface. He takes 2 shotgun rounds to the chest, and then he gets like hit in the mouth with the chainsaw like under it. And spoiler, he doesn't die. And I was just kind of like, I mean, I'm glad Leatherface didn't die, because honestly too, when I saw that, like, okay, he took the 2 shotgun shells to the chest and was like falling back. If Leatherface is going to be killed by his own chainsaw, I want it to be by a badass character that I like. When the older sister comes with the chainsaw, like ready to fucking kill Leatherface with it, I was like, oh, no, bitch. Like, I hate your character. I don't want you to have the honors of killing Leatherface with his own chainsaw. So she kind of just swings the chainsaw up, it hits him in the jaw, and he like falls into some like disgusting water. And they're like, oh, that's it. Leatherface is dead. And this, I did get a surprise ending because, like I said, he got shot twice in the chest and then like split up the mouth with the fucking chainsaw. And in all the other series, Leatherface is just a regular guy in like the mortal sense. He's not Michael Myers or Jason. So I did get like really surprised at the end, and I fucking loved it. So the sisters are driving away, and then the next thing you know, fucking Leatherface busts like the passenger window up, pulls the older sister out, and fucking decapitates her with a chainsaw. I love that, because at that moment in the movie, I was already kind of checked out the first time I watched it, like bored. Like, I really wanted the older sister to die. I didn't like her character. She killed Leatherface with his chainsaw. I wasn't happy. But the moment he popped back up, pulled her out of the car, and cut her head off, I was like, yes, that's honestly what saved the movie for me. So, was it the greatest in the franchise? No. Was it the greatest movie I've seen all week? No. Was it the greatest movie I've seen today? Yes. Because literally that's the only thing I think I've watched today besides South Park here and there. But like I said, if you're a horror fan, I say definitely check this one out. You most likely won't be disappointed. I feel like they did a good enough job that most of the fans from the franchise could enjoy it. As I said, the main characters in the movie, I don't know, to me were kind of like annoying, and I just couldn't stand them. So watching Leatherface like get them all, I was like, I enjoyed it. Even the plot, like, it was different. I kind of liked it. I mean, there's only so much you could do with Leatherface. He lives out in the middle of nowhere. He's just this crazy guy with a... I mean, how much more could you really do with Leatherface? Are they going to put him in space? That would be ridiculous. I even think if you, like, put Leatherface in the big city, kind of like Jason Takes Manhattan, it would be a little ridiculous because... I don't know. It just doesn't fit the character of Leatherface. So I feel like this is one of those franchises where, like, there's not too much you could really do with him. Like, in the sense of, like, Jaws, like, there's only so much you could do with that story because it's a shark in the water. You're not going to fucking have Jaws in space or something, you know? But overall, I do recommend checking this one out. If it was something in theaters, I would say, like, I mean, if you're really excited, go see it. If not, it could definitely wait till it streams or is available to rent. But... like I said, I didn't hate the movie. It was good. I watched it 3 times today, and I'm pretty sure my other friends are going to want to watch it later, and I'm going to have to watch it with them. So I'm not too mad about it. Like, if it was Halloween Kills, I'd be disappointed. I had to watch the movie like twice, and I was like bored out of my fucking mind because I hated it the first time around, and watching it the second time around, I was like, oh my god, fuck this movie. If I had to rank it, I would say it'd be at the bottom of the list of like my favorite and the ones I do like. Like, I don't want to be like so like cliche and put like, oh, the original's my favorite, because I mean, without it, of course, we wouldn't have all the other ones. So I'm gonna just be a basic bitch and put the original as my number 1 because I have to. And then I would put the 2003 remake, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, the prequel, and then this one. Like, literally out of like all the sequels, there's only 4 I like, and this one, like I said, I didn't hate it too much. And also it's like an hour and 30 minutes or so. It was like kind of short. It kind of gave me like the vibes of like Halloween H2O, where I remember when I saw that movie and I was like, God damn, this felt like it was 20 minutes long. But you know, they got to the point, they did what they had to do. I enjoyed the kills in the movie. The plot was pretty okay. And it was something I definitely will probably rewatch again later down the line, like after I haven't seen it for a couple months. Anyways, with that said, I've rambled on once again way too long. Here, so I will leave my cash app down below if you want to tip this witch. I would greatly appreciate it. But like I said, what I would always appreciate so much more is if you smash that like button, hit that bell for notifications, and subscribe to this Krueger cult, as we will be talking about more horror movies, true crime, and all that other crazy shit. But I will also leave my links down below if you want to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, or, you know, follow me down the street or the mall, wherever. As long as you're giving me attention, I'm living. But until the next time, this is terrorkrueger. Stay spooky, and I'll see you ghouls later. Bye.